Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about tier lists. I know. Everyone's favorite religion. Who is number one? Is it Fox or Marv? Will Roy ever make it out of D tier? The discussions are endless and they're great, but I would like to add a new perspective to this topic. Skill level. That's right. It's often criminally underlooked, and I feel like the skill level of players is rarely ever considered when it comes to tier lists. And here is why this is bad. I started playing Melee about 1.5 years ago, and one thing that really confused me was the disconnect that I saw between like old heads and top players and my own reality. It didn't really make a lot of sense, but I first started playing the game with Sheik. People told me she's easy to pick up. I can get right to playing the game with the least amount of time investment and just have fun. Which was true. I was doing really well, and Sheik was really strong. Like I was taking some stocks. I was fighting back against people, but Sheik was just kind of boring. So eventually, I picked up Fox, the character I've always wanted to play, and I always dreamed of playing him. Even when I was younger, I was like, oh, there's Fox McCloud in Melee. He's so strong, he's so fast, but he is super hard to play. And even then, I knew that, like, yeah, he's fast and powerful, but if you make a mistake, you might just die. But yeah, it's great, and I really like playing difficult characters in video games. I like exploring what like the limit is of my own capabilities and like really pushing myself like mechanically and physically. So I spent days, weeks, months just grinding the tech skill, moving around, trying to like learn everything about the game, having fun. And I was like an unstoppable force, I would just keep going. But, something really stood out to me. There was something weird. I wouldn't win against anyone, like ever. I couldn't beat anyone that I faced on unranked. I couldn't beat anyone in friendlies. Even like some of the CPUs were like so hard to beat, like way too hard for a game that is that old and like I know way too much about. And even like I remember the first time I won in an unranked game, it was like a miracle to me. Like breaking down that barrier was kind of like eye opening. That this game is just hard, like really, really, really hard. I think I haven't really been told the whole truth. Playing Fox is hard, and I knew that, like going into it, but I didn't really understand how hard. And some characters, especially at the beginner level, can be really, really easy to pick up and like to just like have success with compared to a character like Fox. And it's strange like talking to other people about this because everyone is already at such a high level and understands the game and plays the game at such a like powerful level that yeah, they will just not really understand my opinion. I think the way that these like matchups behave and how difficult or easy a character is always depending on the context. Like you can be successful with any character no matter what, but how hard or how easy it is like always changes depending on the level of people you're playing with. And now with all that out of the way, I would like to show you my tier list that I made just for like nothing serious. It's just based off my vibes of how strong I think the characters are at like a beginner level. I would consider a beginner level to be 0 to 1 years of experience, like day one until maybe like a year or so. That's what I would call like a beginner level. And yeah, so as you can see, there's quite a few odd ones that stand out. Like I put Fox in the B tier. I put Ganon in S tier, which is a bit strange for some people, I think. Falco is in A tier, and it's probably not perfect. And of course, it's just a random ass tier list, but this is based off my own experiences and what I've seen as a new player. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So my thought process behind this was that this tier list is structured like this. It's for people, of course, who have 0 to 1 years experience. Um, People here have very low tech skill, so characters that don't require a lot of tech skill are going to be ranked much higher, especially for their punish. If their punish game is really easy, they're going to be ranked very high. Their characters that die really easily, that are set lower than usual, because of course you can't afford to make many mistakes, and if you're new, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And characters that are easy to understand and be successful with are ranked much higher. So if you have a lot of complex mechanics that you need to be aware of and like understand, yeah, you're gonna go down on the list, is what I'm trying to say. And just for the fun of it, I've made another tier list, which I would call maybe like intermediate level players, or players that played the game for like 1 to 3 years on average, like consistently. Again, it's a little bit different than the ultimate SSBM tier list that we all know. But yeah, as you can see, the level we are playing on changes the tier list quite dramatically, I think. As for my considerations for the intermediate tier lists, you can see it's for people who have like 1 to 3 years of experience or more. People here in this tier list usually have much higher tech skill than people in the beginner tier list. They might even have like really basic game plans for like the really common matchups, like the top tiers or Fox. Everyone has a game plan against Fox and punish game against Fox. So, and people might have a really basic understanding of what punish game looks like and how to like develop their punish game for characters, or what to like look for, or even if it's just intuitively or if they learned it from somewhere. But yeah, if I showed these tier lists to a player, like a veteran player, that they might think that I'm like stupid or crazy or I have like no idea what I'm talking about. But I really feel like it's kind of the opposite. I mean, if you're a veteran player, ask yourself, can you really put yourself in the shoes of someone who just started playing Melee today? Do you still know what it's like? You know, what it's like to like learn everything there is in Melee. How to do wave dashes, how to move around the screen, how to hold your fucking controller, how to do all the inputs and moves, and which character has what moves. Or how about learning all the different matchups? There are so many matchups in this game, and some of them you never even see until they hit you like a truck, and it's like everything is so completely different and unique. And yeah, some of the matchups require you to put in tens if not hundreds of hours of just theory and practice, putting into everything, like the punish game or the neutral, just understanding what is even going on before you like get a grip of like the matchup, you know. Well, anyway, my point is this: if you are a veteran player, I'd like you to just be a little bit more careful, especially when throwing around like really strong opinions about matchups, about character power when you're talking to beginners, because especially at the lower skill levels, their world might be like completely upside down. And if you're a new player, please trust your gut and try not to have your understanding of the game like poisoned by people who are just playing a completely different game, to be honest. Like, they are not playing the same game as we are yet, so it might be tempting after a month of playing the game to cry about like, oh, I can't win against Marv, he's one of the best characters and this guy is just abusing high tiers. But yeah, like thinking about stuff like this is only gonna like slow your growth as a player. And I advise you to listen to the veterans, listen to your old heads, but try to look for solutions and not opinions. If someone is telling you you can't win against Fox, he's just too good, that's not really going to help you. Try to like break it down. What is it that you can win against? And then maybe you can find a solution. And to drive down my final point, I think if I put like time and difficulty of a character on like a graph, it might look like this, where it's like really hard in the beginning and then it gets easier over time. Or it might be the other way around. It might be really easy in the beginning and then later it might get really hard, or something in between. And yeah, so if you listen to all of my rambling all the way to the end, thank you for listening to my experience. Maybe you can find a new perspective or something, or maybe you just disagree completely. That's totally fine. Either way, thank you for watching, and goodbye.